Welcome to Overblick Restaurant in Orkney College. Overblick stands for View Over the Bay, and as you can see we have a lovely view over the bay today. And my name is Anne Hill, I'm the Curriculum Leader in Hospitality. I teach restaurant service as part of my job, and first of all I'm going to show you how to unfold a tablecloth on the table. Then we're going to lay the table, put napkins on, and this is the type of thing that you will learn if you do the National Certificate in Professional Cookery. When you take the tablecloth out of the cupboard, it'll be nicely folded and ironed. So to be careful that you don't have any creases on it, you need to unfold it very carefully over the table. So you put your hands underneath and gently lift the cloth each side. And if you keep the centre of the cloth in the middle, that will give you a fair idea that it's going to be correct around every edge. So we do the same at this side. Gently pull in. The centre line of the cloth should be in the centre of the table, like so. And then you check it's the same drop at each side and at each end. Okay, so that's the cloth ready to start laying with crockery and cutlery. So next I'm going to show you how to polish the cutlery and the glassware for your table so that they're absolutely sparkling and clean. A hygiene point is not to touch any of the cutlery that the customer might put in their mouth. So hold it by the base of the fork and the knife. So we put this into boiling water, so take care not to burn yourself. Pop it in for a few seconds and then take a microfiber cloth and buff it up. This really does make a difference to your cutlery, and it makes sure that it's all exceptionally clean. Okay, so that's us finished with the microfiber cloth. When you're polishing glassware, you need to use a glass cloth. So a glass cloth is lint free. Using this cloth ensures that there's no fluff going to go on your nice wine glasses. So we do similar with the cutlery, but we hold the glass over some boiling water till you see it steam up inside and the outside. And then the other hygiene point is to make sure that you put the cloth right into the glass and that you do not touch the inside of the glass with your fingers. So my thumb is firmly in there, I use my left hand and I twist to get rid of all the steam and improve the sparkle. So you can then see up at the light, the glass is beautiful and sparkling. So I have prepared everything earlier. So now to give you a guide of exactly the width of the cutlery, if you take a main course plate, and our plates have got the Orkney College crest on them, the crest should always be at 12 o'clock on the table. And you want each setting to be opposite one another. So if you start with the main knife and fork first and place them just outside of the main plate. Now the cutlery should be a thumbnail, so if you just use your thumb in from the edge of the table and should be all in a line. We then use what we call the starter knife and fork is placed next, and then the soup spoon, and these are all in a perfect line. Next is the dessert spoon. The dessert spoon faces the fork, and the dessert fork faces the knife. I'll finish my other settings. So next we have our side plates. If you just make sure that you give them a wipe with a cloth so that they are absolutely clean, no water spots on the plates, and they sit to the left hand side beside the fork. I also put a side plate on the table for the water jug. The side knives would normally sit in the middle of the side plate, but because we don't want to cover up our nice Orkney College logo, I'm placing them slightly to the right of the setting. Next up, we have our coasters. You can use paper coasters, or these ones are particularly nice cut glass ones. So the wine glass sits up above the soup spoon. So I have my polished glasses. And I'm only touching the glass by the stem, and I have washed and sanitised my hands before I started any of these activities today. We have to have some salt and pepper, a pepper mill. These have all been wiped and filled. If it was for an evening meal, we would have a little tea light, a crackle glass tea light, gives a nice effect. We have some flowers in the Orkney College UHI colours, especially for today. And then we have our napkin fold. Now I've made these earlier, and there will be a reference as to how you fold these. Again, when you're folding napkins, you have to make sure your hands are absolutely clean and sanitised, because the customer would touch their mouth with the napkin. So your hands need to be clean. So this napkin I have called the sail, and it sits in the middle of the plate, like that. Just slightly unfold it to give the illusion of waves. And lastly, for your dinner party, your dinner table, you need to have some wine. So I'm just going to show you how the wines should be served and explain a wee bit about which ones should be chilled or not. So a red wine should always be served at room temperature, so open the wine before the guests come. It should sit on a side plate on a napkin. This makes sure that you don't get any drips from your red wine on your beautiful white tablecloth. White wines and rosy wines should be served chilled. So you chill the white or rosy wine down and you put it into this wine chiller. This does not require to be iced, because this traps the chilled cold air in the bottle and keeps it that way. For sparkly wines, champagnes, sparkly rosy wines, white wines, always serve it in an ice bucket filled up with ice, and you have a cloth then ready when you take it out to give it a nice wipe before you open your sparkly wine and champagne.